How would you kick things off? Because I feel like I always pontificate at the top of these things. So
Good term, pontificate.
yeah, what you got going on?
Don't we always? Yeah, well, I got a lot of stuff at the day jobs going
Yo,
on.
before we get into your stuff, actually, not an interject.
I
uh,
love the
but yo,
pontification.
yo, yo, baby reindeer. We touched on briefly at the end of the last session. Did you finish that series or did you watch any more of
I
it?
haven't started it. It's just funny that I know of the guy that made it, like before he made it.
I mean, I think it'd be trippy for you. The fact that just a quick recap for everyone, even though I know everyone tuned into the last episode. Um, there's this guy, what's his name? Richard Gadd.
Yep.
Yeah, Richard Gadd was this like kind of middle tier actor doing some stage stuff in London that Duke knew of. He followed him, unfollowed him,
Go
and
follow on foot.
here we are, number one Netflix show. So yeah, I think it would
Yeah,
be.
no. Just to recap in one sentence. Just to recap in one sentence. I brought up to you last time. It was funny that you'd said to me, "Oh, like have you seen the show Baby Reindeer on Netflix? That's kind of like going viral. It's like the biggest thing at the moment." I I didn't know of it, and then I saw it pop up, and I'm like, "What the heck?" That is the guy, the British actor that like I saw doing a play in England casually. I'm like, this person has like a similar career to like what I vibe with and stuff. And so I followed on Instagram, super small time following and everything. Nothing happened on his Instagram for like over a year and a half. The guy was like kind of like a stand-up comedian, but did a lot of like kind of like grittier, smaller roles in England. And next thing you know, I just see him pop up on Netflix, and it was just a good example to me of like it's just what a wild industry. And then
And
from there.
yeah, I mean, as far as that goes too, the deeper I get into this stuff, it's like everyone thinks that Hollywood is this thing, but I feel like Hollywood operates from a place of fear. They're always like kind of one step or two steps behind the curve, and they're always looking to jump on whatever train is moving. And
Sure.
Richard Gadd, this guy made that shit happen. Like I don't know all the ins and outs of how like if he wrote the entire thing and then approached Netflix or whatever. Or I do you know anything about how the thing came together?
Yeah, I can illuminate on that a bit. Well, I know as far as Baby Reindeer came from, he wrote a play, like a dark comedy play based on a real life experience he had, and he took it all over the UK. And then next thing you know, probably someone saw it at Netflix, and it's as simple as that. Kind of in the same vein as like Fleabag with Phoebe Waller-Bridge.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Wild. But yeah, back to you, man. Not to shift gears, but
Oh yeah, well my it's my day jobs. No, yeah, I'll try to think first what if I have anything creatively going on. I had a in-person audition yesterday for the first time in a while.
yo, what I mean, you thrive in those things, right? You're just like,
Yeah,
oh,
somewhat. I mean, I haven't for these in-person ones. The only in-person ones I've had lately are for commercials, which here. It's cool that I'm able to get those, especially because that was like the last thing for me to get with like reps, strangely, like ironically, because a lot of people go from like I feel like especially in my casting, like in the corny way I can say it, like I tried to model for a bit when I was like in high school and everything unsuccessfully. I couldn't really figure it out. I couldn't really book gigs or anything, but I would go on like auditions. But I was told like, oh yeah, you should model. And then I feel like the next step creatively is like get a commercial agent,
100%.
do that, and then a lot of times first thing people are able to do is like drama, and then they're like, oh, comedy, and then whatever. But for myself, yeah, it was tough to or like more awkward to get a commercial agent for a while too. People were saying, well, they just don't have people like you in commercials and stuff. And
What does that mean?
like kind of like leading men type.
Yeah.
Uh, you
I
know,
thought that's who they have in commercials, no?
I allegedly these days it's more
Character.
character looking people. Yeah, they want which for better or for worse. But and I don't necessarily buy the
It's
first
for
scene.
better. It's for better. Because look, man, you'd rather look like a leading man type and be able to play characters. Then you have the option. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, no. I'm saying for better or for worse that the casual kind of character looking people are who they cast on
Right.
TV the majority of the time. Which despite that, like I don't necessarily know what the data would show, like who gets parts over another. That could have just been something someone said, like so much bad advice out there. But
Anecdote.
anyway, it's been fun having a commercial agent, and I get a lot of self-tape commercial auditions, which are
Right.
like so easy, so painless. And then the in-person ones, every single one has been at the same place so far, which is like near Larchmont Village. Yesterday was for a Nissan commercial. I get that. And for me, it's like that feels the most Hollywood of anything. Like it's like, okay, I'm really living the actor life. And you drive to Larchmont Village and you go to a fun.
Larchmont Village is such a cliche too. Of course, it's there.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, I mean, cliche in a sense, maybe. I don't even know if I quite am picking up on the cliche. I mean, like it's not necessarily
Cliche
hard.
being maybe it's because when I first came out here on like my junior year of college, where I was like still wanting to be an actor and stuff, all the open calls and stuff were there.
No kidding.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah. I would assume more stuff is like in Hollywood, right? West Hollywood and stuff. And yeah, I don't know.
I did one Abercrombie commercial, and it was you had to like sit in a car and like pretend like you're driving and then like call back like one line. Is that usually what they're like?
Basically what I did yesterday. And each one I've done there, I've been called in with a scene partner. You audition with someone else, and the guy walks you through what you have to do. And you have like a couple little moments you have to pretend. And it's cool. I mean, I'm just looking around, like it's the classic actress thing of like you look around, you're like, how the hell are they going to distinguish that they want this person over me or me over them? It's just like, it's so like, there's so many options. You're
So
just,
many options, but if you get that thing, that shit'll tie you over for a year,
yeah.
2 years.
I mean, it'd be nice. It's funny how like commercials are made fun of too, or they especially were up until like 20 years ago, they didn't want real actors in commercials. Wait, so brief side note, I didn't know you were actually able to get like an agent in Hollywood for acting and like did commercial auditions and stuff.
I didn't have reps. These were like open calls that they posted to uh like freaking LA casting and actors access and that kind
Well,
of stuff.
that shows that you had some gumption. It's not easy to
Thanks, man. I
find.
mean, it's all that I had. And that's when I realized I didn't want to be an actor because it sucked.
Those open calls and stuff were basically what I was doing with the modeling stuff. You're going to these
Right.
giant calls. You go in for 1 freaking second. You sign in, you go in, you do something, and you just drove so far. And I was like, I don't even know how to distinguish myself over someone else.
Yeah.
This is BS.
Yeah.
And looking back, and so that's so relatable. But looking back, it's really something I have to pinch myself about a lot of the times that I got to a place with my like with the Hollywood stuff where I'm like really impassioned when I have an audition or this or that. And it's not even the most prestigious stuff that I audition for, but the fact that you go in for roles that are like you can really creatively flex your muscle into and see like, oh wow, I have a skill and I'm really going to try to lean into this and try to do it differently than someone else and stuff. It's a beautiful thing, and I still haven't been able to really find my success with it. But yeah,
I mean, that's fucking cool, man. Are you break it down for our listeners, people who are actors and people who are aspiring to, or even just curious. Like when you go in those rooms, do you have it down to a science? Are you like, like how do you even, you first, you open the door, they call you in, you're kind of like, do you try to be all affable and charismatic and shit? You're like, hey, how's it going? Or like, what's your shtick? Or does it vary depending on the audition?
uh, well, there's a few things that I do that are mainly for myself, not necessarily for the job. The stuff that I do for myself is I tell myself, like, we go through like what's the lens you look through, like what's your like philosophy going out with it. And mine is I try not to care. I do my best, and I try to literally that's one aspect is like, hey, I'm gonna figure out how to do my best, honor the material, bring it to life in the best possible way. It's bigger
Right.
than me, and I want to work with these people.
Right.
despite what I even think of the material, even if I think it's bad, I'm gonna still try to do my best. If
Yeah.
it's comedy, I'm gonna try to be the funniest I could be. If it's
Yep.
horror, I'm gonna be the scariest. If it's a drama, I'm gonna be the realist.
Yep.
But I also tell myself on the other end of the coin to be able to relax is very important. Don't need anything from them.
That's it.
Really, because they're not giving you the time of day, and it's not treat them how you're, but that's like another reminder of like, hey, if you need any reminder, like to not make it a big deal, they don't give a crap about you. So I'm going in there with my headphones in, I'm chilling, I sign in. It's so different than I might have been when I was like 17 going to
Yeah. Oh
auditions.
man, you'd have like your button-up shirt and like, your
Headshots,
yeah,
what
yeah, all in like your
because you
little
don't know
binder.
what you don't know. You're so inexperienced and you care, and you're just like, this matters a lot. This time, like it matters a lot, but I'm so prepared. I go an hour early if I can. I get there. I don't give a crap if they like aren't taking people yet. I'll call my agent. I'll go and say like, hey, can they take me early, whatever, because traffic's bad. I act like I own the joint because realistically, like you need to have some
That,
ownership.
that's fucking
Um,
great, bro. And being on the opposite side of the table, that's what they want to see. That's
they
that's
want to work with people that are pros and
oh,
that
bro.
already like have the job. And Michael Keaton is something the most recent is all these successful actors say variations of the same thing. Michael Keaton, I just saw a clip of him saying he's like, it was a big game changer when he realized like start going into auditions as if you already have the job. And I think George Clooney said the same things. Like, and yeah, so I approach it exactly the same. Like when I'm doing it, I recognize like even if I have a bad moment or like it's awkward or something, that can happen on set. It's not
Yep,
personal. It's
yep,
this or that. Be ready to be embarrassed, like you're
yep.
performing. And even on this one, like, I'm just ready to ask questions. I'm not needy or people pleasery in the waiting room with other people trying to meet them and stuff. I mean, you naturally have, I think, those instincts, but I just try to put my head down and like if it's a big the last audition I had that was like real scenes and stuff, I just freaking glued myself to the page. They say don't go over the lines before necessarily, but I'm just like I want to just stay in the zone, and that's something that kind of grounds you a little bit in the zone maybe. And with all that said, yeah,
I
I
think
think
what you said about even going in with your earphones in, that's a great tip. That me like even
waiting room with the earphones in. Yeah,
yeah, I
yeah.
know, right?
Not the
That's a
actual.
little far, yeah, going in
Yeah.
the room. But just doing that, like putting myself in your shoes and going in and literally like when I was doing this shit in college, I would have the button up and the fucking and bro, I don't wear button ups. You know what I mean? It's not me.
Go in very businesslike.
Yeah, yeah, it's like I was going in for an interview. And it's
Yeah.
like even if that wasn't what the character was, that's what I thought it was supposed to be when you go in for an audition. I go in all nervous, have my little button up, have my papers printed out that morning and they're perfectly, it's like fuck all that shit. Fuck all that shit.
Fuck
You
all
go
of it.
with your earphones, listen to your music, call your agent, you're the producer. You fucking, who are these people?
It just depends on the job too, because it is a job interview, but like in the business world, for the most part, they I've kind of gathered that people appreciate professionalism and having a suit and stuff. In acting, I've heard people contradict themselves so much on the other side of the casting desk.
Yeah.
I've heard people say like they love like a beautiful, great self-tape setup that looks professional. Then I've heard the opposite. I've heard my own roommate, shout out, who's like an agent and stuff, say like, oh, he loves that it's so casual, like that the actor didn't give a fuck, like that they just threw it together and it happened to look really good, but there's a door behind them or this or that. And
Yeah.
I've heard like big actors that are still like auditioning if it's something that they care about.
Yep.
They audition with the actual scene. They want it to look like they don't care. They just threw it together. So if all of it is that off the cuff, I'm like, I'm not gonna pretend to like have the exact answer. I'm just gonna do my best and then keep on living my life.
That's
But
it.
like the other day, I went from giving a pickleball lesson, so I had my pickleball clothes on, and I was in a Nissan commercial.
Bro, then you can get some new recruits, get some new clients. hit two birds with one stone. I
Check.
bro, I think what people respond to is authenticity, because whether it's, if it's authentic to you to create this like beautiful scene, and really, if that's you, you're the meticulous guy, like that's kind of your vibe. And then if you're the guy who's just, kind of loose and you do the thing, and you have the little like kind of shitty green screen, it's like I really think people respond to authenticity, and that's something I've done, bro. Like when I've been going on these, the thing I'm most comfortable in the world is a black t-shirt. You don't see me wear anything else. At this point, man, I own
Oh,
like fucking like 25 of these things. Okay. I'm like Steve Jobs, right? And so I go in with my black t-shirt. I got a chain. It's like I feel really, really comfortable like that. I got my Tims, it's a vibe. And so I go in now, and like these development meetings that I go into and talking story. Before, when I first came out to LA, I would have gone in with my fucking button up that I hate, that I break out once a year, you know. But like
right.
now I'm just myself. And going in with that, it gives you this layer of confidence that is authentic and real, because that's you. And that's ultimately what people respond to. They don't give a fuck about your, how well pressed your, bullshit flannel or button up thing is. It's like,
Again, it's like read the room, figure out like how to best get the job as well. And I think we naturally do that for survival, like us as humans, you try to figure out how to
I think Hollywood also is moving more towards casual, if it's not already there. Like,
totally.
I don't see Hollywood at all unless you are an agent. Agents don't expect their clients to come in. Well, ask your roommate. I don't think they, expect their clients to come in with like freaking, black tie.
Yeah, what I've gathered from him is like less is more. Like the actor, you don't care. And then same thing from like Matthew McConaughey's book, when he lived with his casting director that cast him in Dazed and Confused. The casting director is like, he's like, dude, you are gonna come off so desperate. Tell people you're a director. Don't even tell people you're an actor. Just
Yeah.
like,
Bro, on my I think Instagram, LinkedIn, film producer, not even director, producer.
fine, yeah. But then you see, the grass is greener on the other side. Oh, so by the way, Tanner got another gig. He booked another gig. I'm
Yeah, good
not
one.
allowed to technically talk about it, but I don't honor those disclosure agreements anyway. Um, but he got another one, and it happens to be for my buddy who I played pickleball with, his TV show.
Wow.
Yeah. It's one episode, but it's
Yeah,
still
sure. Did you mention it though to the guy, or are you going to?
he literally booked it like 3 days ago, and he started working on it today. They did like a photo shoot for it today for the scene, like to show like they needed a picture in the scene that shows the
Yeah.
character. And I'm not even gonna text my buddy because it's such a small thing, and he's literally the showrunner.
Yeah,
He's
he
he's so
probably
busy.
doesn't even know. Yeah, but
He doesn't want to talk to me unless it's pickleball. And but I'm just kidding. But yeah, so Tanner is gonna like probably hit him pretty hard and be like, "Yo, boys at Duke." One if he sees him.
yeah, I'm sure. Hey,
Yeah.
man, pull out all the stops.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, that's cool, man. Good for him. Good for him. It's cool to see you're someone close to you. Same thing. I mean, it's the same shit as the Richard Gadd stuff, where it's like
Yep.
you knew them and then you just see it and it's
Yeah.
close. It doesn't feel as far away. It's cool.
I mean, yeah. I'm trying to because everyone said that would happen, the Hollywood experience, but it's just like, is it that different when it actually happens? No, I kind of feel like it was shocking that it didn't happen for so long. Like everyone was
Like it's
struggling.
about time. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel the same, bro. Like a lot of people around my circle, it's like who is the next one? Who's the next? It feels like there hasn't, maybe every once in a while someone will get like a rung on the ladder, but as far as like a big, huge change,
Yeah. Getting over the hurdle.
yeah, I think it's coming in the next couple years though. Like a lot of the people who are still in it, still in the game, I really feel that way. Like there's going to be some kind of shift.
Yeah, my buddy Blaine as well, right? Blaine Kern.
Yeah, I think he
Yeah.
did one of these, didn't he?
Uh, no, I don't think so.
We at least talked
Here's my
about.
buddy from SMU who's also an actor. I did
Mm.
Actually, I did a
Frat
movie.
thing. The frat thing.
The frat thing, I just spoke with him yesterday. I'm like, dude, I still haven't seen that. He's like, oh, I got a link for it. I'll send it to you. So I'm gonna text him.
Wait, what happened? Is it on like Prime and stuff, or
I
what?
have
Where did
no
that?
idea. I have no idea. I don't think it
You just
is.
look up the title. It's out, right?
I think it was called. No, I don't remember the time. I'm gonna say, please send me the link to our movie.
Yeah, then send it to me once you got it.
Yeah, I'd love to.
The how did the viewing party go for the Lifetime?
We haven't talked about that?
No,
I think we have.
the viewing.
It was last Thursday night, right?
Well, whatever. How did it go?
Yeah. Nonetheless, it was awesome. It was as good as it could have gone.
Awesome.
Yeah. Like it was really funny to watch it with a group of people because genuinely everyone was on the edge of their
Right,
seat.
right, right. Because they all responded to it and like the scary moments and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like we all forgot it was me, and it was just like super awkward. Like you were on the edge of your seat. People were like gasping when they heard like the next line come out of my mouth, which is all you can hope for, I think.
I think the most fun is when you've made either you're in something or you're the director of something, whatever, and then you watch it with a group of people and you see that
Right.
response is like that's the best fucking thing in the world.
Have you seen so I've been watching a few things lately. Have you seen the Tom Brady roast?
Man, I just started it. I didn't finish it.
Cool.
It
I watched half of it as well.
Kevin
Um
Hart was great.
but he's a big host, of course. And I'm a big fan of his, but yeah, I don't know if I so here's my takeaways in a very brief, and then I want to talk about the other thing I've been watching too. But Nikki Glazer, who literally is like skinny Amy Schumer. I don't know if that's PC to say, but I mean they look alike for
You
one.
mean she sucks or what?
No, no, no. First of all, I'm a fan of Amy Schumer.
Wow, that's a hot take, bro. That is a
I
hot take.
guess so. She's
No, no, you know that's a hot take, right?
no, she's famously hilarious. Seinfeld's new movie and stuff.
She's in a lot of stuff, but you're the first person I met who's a fan. But regardless, respect. We always have differing views on
I
things.
know we have quite contrasting.
It's the yeah,
Proud of
full
it.
opposite. Yo,
So
Hard fucking killed it. I'm gonna stand by that. Go ahead.
you're gonna double down on that now.
Well,
So I think, well, I don't think I've heard any like monologue from Kevin Hart really yet. Maybe it was at the very top. But didn't really leave an impression to me. I think
you're tripling down now. Yeah.
Nikki Glazer. Oh my gosh, man. Hers, I watched it a second time already, and she just rifles off. And just it was one of those like flow state thing where it's just like set up punch. The thing where she goes, Brady, so you got into cryptocurrency, you lost $30 million. How'd you fall for that? I mean, even Gronk was like, me, no, that not real money. And Kevin Hart was literally like doing like backflips. He was laughing.
Yeah, I bet. I bet.
That guy Tony from Kill Tony, he like started in the crowd by doing his like game, and then he got up on stage and just started riddling them off like roasts on everyone.
Saying Hart kill on Kill Tony.
Tony something. It's the Tony guy. His name is
Yeah, I
literally
know Tony. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, so he came on to this roast, is what you're saying.
yeah, yep.
Oh, got you, got you. Yeah, yeah.
Bro, yeah, maybe you haven't gone that far in it yet. No, you haven't. I'm sure. Oh my gosh. So I think Nikki Glazer was literally an 11 out of 10. I saw her on Howard Stern the next day and she's talking about that's pretty much for a comedian as good as a night as it could ever get. That's a Super Bowl for them. And she had standing ovation. And now she's like the talk of the town. And this guy Tony though as well, probably like a 9 out of 10. It was insane. And then Bill Belichick's thing was like cute. It was fun that he did that more for like sentimental reasons in
Yeah,
general.
yeah.
I think I haven't heard Tom's rebuttal yet. I hear it's good. But that's pretty much my takeaway. I think those guys, Burt Kessler and Todd Tom Segura, is bomb, bro.
Really,
Yeah.
really. Because I usually love those guys. You probably hate them.
Everyone does right now. Everyone loves the whole like Joe Rogan crew of comedians. I
Yeah.
think people are just desperate for anti-woke humor, but I don't think they're funny. I've seen, but
Well, Tom Segura, I've seen more of his stuff, and he has that podcast with his wife.
I can see him being more funny. Don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah, I mean he's got bro, some of the shit that he talks about is just crazy. But yeah, I'll have to check out the roast. You thought they
After hearing Glazer talk about how big of a deal this night is and like how you have to prepare and you have to nail it and everyone's watching, and then they just went up and bombed. I mean, that must suck for one. I have sympathy for that, but just like I'm like, how do you not?
I mean, yeah, the
Even
Tom
Will Ferrell wasn't that funny. Will Ferrell as Anchorman was not funny, I didn't think. And he's my favorite, but I just didn't think the material was that good.
it is true. If you're gonna do the Tom Brady roast, you want to be prepped.
Totally. And then I've been watching Fallout. You must be privy to that. No?
I heard the name. No.
So it's from like an iconic video game, which is about like the nuclear war, end of the world in like 2077 is the idea. Hugely successful game, and now people are like, oh, the show is like so astounding and everything. Anyway, I'm on like episode 6. It's got me hooked, but a lot of dead air. And again, these dystopian shows and everything, there's never really great reasons why to anything. I keep asking my friends, like my friend group from college is super into it, and I keep being like, well, why is it like retro themed, even though it's in the
Like, but
future?
it's cool, man. It's
They're like,
cool.
that's how it is. Yeah, that's just it's the best game. It's the best. I'm like, and then I had to come out and be like, well, maybe I'm not that much of a video game guy. I don't know. I hate to break it to you.
No, man, I totally get your point. And as I get more into writing, that is the most difficult part of the writing thing. But it is your job as the writer, is you got to be able to fill in every fucking
Yeah,
hole
you
so
got to
that
think
when
it
someone
through.
like you comes around and is watching it, they try to pick it apart. That's when you get those airtight scripts.
You want to get lured into the world, and
Yeah,
you do that by details,
yeah.
understanding, believing
Yep,
it,
yep, yep.
and liking it, finding it
Yep.
interesting.
But
If I,
the fun part though of creating is creating that world, which doesn't solve any of those logic gaps. So it's like you got to first create the world and then fill in all those holes. It's like the hard thing about horror is you have these like I have these crazy scary images and crazy scenarios and shit, but then I got to ground all that shit. And the coming up with it is fun as fuck. The grounding of it is fucking excruciating. It's like the worst part.
maybe horror gets a little bit more leash. I mean, they are objectively considered like the worst movies as a genre.
They are, man. Yeah.
Right? And like if even if it's like a very successful horror movie, it's like, well, it wasn't good, it just scared the shit out of us. And then every once in a while you have The Exorcist, which is considered it was literally nominated for an Academy Award.
Yeah.
And et cetera, et cetera. And that's not taking anything away from your talents and
No,
stuff.
bro.
Or
I don't even really give that much of a fuck. Like, I don't even need
no,
I
I
don't
know.
need the Oscar. I want to scare the shit out of people. That's like basically all I want.
And by the way, not to mention like the art to it as well. There's literally like it's like a beautiful thing to to be able to do that. I mean, comedy gets a bad rap too. Like there, people say Seinfeld's not a good actor. They say comedies aren't really like great
You
stories. They're just
good
gonna make
actor.
you laugh. I
You,
think Seinfeld is as good of an actor as it gets. In the show Seinfeld, for one, I think what he's doing is pretending and playing along a moment that is very detailed, very specific. There's dynamics, there's reality, there's
yeah, yeah.
culture and situations that are like very distinct. And if you're not a good actor, you don't know how to make that good. And he did it better than anyone from
That's
the get-go.
wait, what's that?
From the very first episode. If
From
you
the
go
first?
back and you watch Seinfeld, he had this. He was leaning into the character and stuff like that. Doesn't just come naturally.
He did, but I mean he does break a lot. That was the only thing that took me out a little bit. But like laughing at everything. I thought George is the best on that show. George is fucking crazy.
Kind of a hot take. I actually agree that he's as good as it gets. Jason Alexander,
People
as
think he's
my
over the
cousin and
top.
I talk about that. No, I don't think anyone says he's over the top. He didn't have the flashiest part. Obviously, Jerry didn't, but you know,
Mm,
Michael Richards for Kramer got nominated or won like 7 Emmys or something
did he
because he
really?
had the most colorful part. Kind of similar to like Kevin Dillon in Entourage, Johnny Drama. That was another like very colorful part.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
but and like, I don't like The Office, but Dwight in The Office would be considered similar. They're the wild cards. Charlie and It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I mean, they're
yeah,
all.
man. Yeah, yeah.
That being said, Julie Louis-Dreyfus won an Emmy one time. She is as good as it gets in that show to me.
Yeah.
But I agree. Jason Alexander as George, which is he said he figured out to an extent it's an impression of Larry David.
Totally. Yeah.
I mean, it's so well written, but to I go back and forth for a long time. I said like, what makes something interesting that we want to watch? And like a lot of stuff has to come from truth, I think.
Yep.
Like, or else I don't get, we were just talking about imagination and filling in the blanks, but like, it's got to be real or else people's imagination sucks. That being said, um, Seinfeld, yeah, it was from a lot of true stuff and like, or just stuff they would find funny in real life and they would incorporate it into that. But
I think being on a
I agree that
sitcom,
those four just seemingly vanilla people that are just in their late 30s or whatever, just living their lives, it's gonna be that funny or interesting. Got to hand it to him. It was so
I mean,
good.
same with Friends, right? It's like,
Yeah, and new now. I mean, now that I mention it, like there's so many shows that are about just people in their 30s.
yeah,
Doing, yeah,
being friends.
yeah,
Um,
doing mundane things.
yeah. I think it'd be fun to be on a sitcom. I mean, it's kind of a dying art form at this point, but just imagine that, man. You're going out on a stage, like performing for people every night.
Well, I for starters did that sitcom Pretty Smart, the Netflix show.
Was that where you were like the gym guy kind of and you went to the desk, or is that something?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
That's crazy. So you were on, was that like one episode or what?
yeah. Is one out of like
What
eight.
was that like? You go out there, so it was live. Everyone was like laughing live.
No, surprisingly, so it was on a soundstage. It was a big deal. It was Netflix.
Yeah,
Original show from the creators of New Girl. And so got it. We did a table read beforehand. Um, then you go, you, you meet with Emily Osment, who's like, I grew up watching on Hannah Montana,
that's
hilariously.
crazy.
The director happened to be the guy from, he was Mr. Mosby in The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. There's all these like big stars from my age, and
True.
everyone was so nice. And they film it they have all the sets right there indoors in the studio. It's on the Netflix lot and they have all these sets and you literally film it like everyone just walks like a play. It's like a play, but in, you go from one set and they do a scene probably like 8 times. And and this is on the filming. You do a dress rehearsal as well,
Right.
but on the filming, you do the scene like 8 times, and they're like, and to the next one, and it's all done in order of the scene, so it feels like it's unfolding in front of you. Then everyone walks to the next spot, and you go to the next scene, and then it's like your scene, and it's so fun. It was as good
That's
as it
so
got.
surreal being directed by that guy too. Like watching the show as a kid and then he's just directing you. Like, how trippy is that?
It's no different than other stuff I've experienced, just as like stars are just like us, like he's just hacking it away.
Really? But come on, you have that like split second of like, oh fuck.
Mhm. It's
No?
just never ceases to amaze. From
Really?
like that,
Really?
I was just like figures. He's just like
Wow.
he's just this guy who's like obviously I think so talented as a comedian and stuff, and he's just directing this fucking little thing. He's got a big agent now. I saw that, and like
Yeah.
he just kind of cruised through Hollywood. Yeah.
It takes me like maybe like 30 seconds or like a minute of talking to someone for it to kind of like settle in. Like I work for like an internship I had was at Playtone, which is like Tom Hanks's company. When he first came in, you get it's like the image of it of like all the things that you've seen. It's just so
Yeah.
it's weird. And it's almost like your impression of them has to merge with the
Yeah.
actual person, and then you're like, oh, okay. You know what I mean? It's
Now
like,
I
but
get
for
it. You
me,
process it.
yeah, I at least need that like minute to process, and then I'm good. Then I lock in.
I
But
don't think it's bad to keep processing it. I mean, that's what we do. You like size up people,
yeah, for
but
everyone.
yeah.
So what you got on deck this week? What are you working on? A lot more auditions or what?
I mean, I haven't had many auditions lately, but I have this movie I'm doing in Canada,
Yeah, when's that shooting?
shooting May 29th through the 31st.
Oh,
So that's
I mean,
uh,
talk about actory shit. Yeah, I got to shoot in Vancouver, bro. That's it. You can't get more actory than that. You're
I
doing it.
know.
You're living it.
Yeah, I mean,
I keep saying Glenn Close. It's not Glenn Close. Who's in it?
Faye Dunaway,
There you go. Yeah.
something a bit different. Donald Sutherland, Harvey Keitel, a few big people. So we're doing it. But what about yourself?
I'm working on this revision for that screenplay that as I'm getting some traction, and I got people lined up to read it. So it's cool because I've got this like it's not me just like alone like in a coffee shop, right? Like hopefully someone reads this. There's like an end point to it. So now I'm like page 50, so it's trucking along.
All right. All right. Of the revision.
The revision. Yeah.
Yeah.
Got some notes, trying to make it more marketable.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Love it, man. It's all good. How's the day job and stuff?
Day job's good. I got summer vacation coming up in like a couple weeks, so that's gonna free up some time. How
Wow.
about you? Are you
What do you do
meeting?
out there in summertime?
What's that?
What are you gonna do out there during summertime? Right? And
Probably just really lock in. I mean, I got my jujitsu stuff going on, but I'm probably gonna start up shorts again. I'm all about like the career shit, so it's like I'm gonna start up some Momo shorts and get some views there, and then
you'll probably be coming to the city a lot.
yeah, yeah, I'll be in
Maybe
LA.
not.
We
Who
should
knows?
get together.
Yeah, would love to.
Yeah,
Come out to the beach too.
yeah, man, that'd be fun.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to wear something other than a black shirt, but
Never, bro, never. It's not me. It's not me.
what matters? That's what matters.
Steve Jobs, baby. But yeah, dude, have a good week. It's good seeing you. Keep
Ah, you too, man. Thank you.
all right.
All
See
right,
you.
boy. Peace.
Bye, brother.